welcome to this whole new episode of W.C.A. in Nelson. Today, I'm somewhere that reminds me a lot of home, to be honest. Why, you may ask? It reminds me of home because it smells a little bit like home. Today, I'm with the cannabis store owner 419, Mr. Gregory. How's it going?
Hi, I'm great, yeah.
Thank you for being with
us
today.
It definitely smells wonderful in here all the time.
Always. Gregory, you are the owner of this place, are you?
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
All right, so I think there's no one else that's better than yourself to tell us the story of the store. Do you want to start by telling us about it?
Sure. So I've been with cannabis legally since the beginning. When legalization came out, I decided, I was like, wow, I should go that direction. Cannabis is going to go that direction really hard. Yes. And like, if you get in early, 5 years or almost 6 years ago now, legalization, it just made sense to me. So I started working in Smithers, BC. It's about 18 hours north of Nelson, where we are now, if we drove. Okay. So it's pretty far. Yeah. And then there's a store there called Rural Leaf Cannabis. I got a job there, and that's kind of where everything began, with the whole like legal cannabis thing. Okay. Fast track 5 years from now into where we are right now. My business partners who own that store decided they want to open new stores in BC, and I've always had like. I've always been really good at like business and like entrepreneurship and things like that. I've owned my own food trucks for many years beforehand. And so I found a license in Nelson that was here already, and then everything just went really fast. It was about a year ago now, maybe a year and a half ago now, we started this journey, and now we're open. We're branded. We're here. It took some effort, that's for sure. For sure, it's been a journey, like you told me earlier.
So, how many years would you say that you've been in the business? Not necessarily as a business owner, but in total, in general, doing everything connected to cannabis.
Outside of legalization, 10 years plus.
10 years plus.
Easily, yeah.
So that's been your whole life.
I decided I loved cannabis when I was 19. And then I went to Thailand and I found some Thai stick, which is like incredible weed. You just can't find it anymore, even there. Oh. And I was like, man, there's so many amazing cannabis things that like the majority of people won't even ever see Thai stick as a type of strain. It's a type of strain from Thailand. I don't think I've ever heard of it, and I'm a pretty big stoner. It's made only in Thailand, and like you weave buds together to create this like really hard bud. Okay. It's awesome. So that was really what did it for me. I was like, man, I just want to smoke all the cannabis or try all the cannabis. It's so fascinating. And that's where we're at now.
Awesome. Cannabis is fascinating. So what kind of professional background would you say to like somebody needs to have to want to become a business owner like you are here connected to cannabis?
So probably business skills to start with. There's a lot of red tape. Like tons of red tape. So you got to like apply for licensing, insurancing, leases. Like it's just like I said, it took us a year and a half to open from when we started. And then we purchased a license about a year ago. And that's how long it took to like get to where we are now. Yeah. So it's a lot of like background of like business, red tape, going through like the federal government forms and things like that. I think my food trucks really helped me just like have a good grasp of what is needed to like run a business, run employees, things like that. So I think that's probably the best, is just to have some sort of background in business and in cannabis, obviously. Like I've definitely been to stores where people just don't consume and things like that. And it's just harder to buy off people that don't know what they're doing.
I know, right? Yeah. I want to buy from a stoner. That's what I want when I go.
I agree. I also want to buy from a stoner. I want him to know more than me.
I know,
and like
right?
it's hard for me, but like I think every time someone walks in, your budtender should know more about cannabis than you do, or at least like on the par.
It's like it should be like a sommelier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they do a sommelier in Vancouver has a cannabis sommelier.
Oh, you
It's a program you can apply for it and everything. My buddy did it a few years ago. Yeah.
Would you?
It's just like months of like schooling and like I'm stuck here for a while. The effort to put this together was too much to leave right away.
sometimes here because you guys have been open only since September 2024.
Yeah, it's like September 10th. September 10th, yeah.
Wow.
So we got at least a few more years before I can move on to another project.
Fair enough. As a cannabis store owner, what would you say was the most challenging thing about opening your store?
Waiting is a huge one. So like you can do all your red tape, fill out all your forms, and have everything ready. You're like, all right, they're going to tell us it's going to be, I think they told us it would take about 6 weeks to transfer our license from the previous owner to us. That took 8 months.
Oh, wow.
So
6 weeks?
So it's a lot of just waiting. It's like, and then you can send an email to someone and be like, hey, so what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, hey, and they're like, it's processing.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, it's been processing for 6 months. They're like, that's all they give you is yes. It's processing, and you're like, okay. And then it eventually happens. And then once it happens, you just gotta like hit the ground and run. And just go as fast as possible. Once you have a license, just get open. Okay. Because like
no more time to lose.
Yeah, there's no time to lose at that point in time because you've been waiting for so long already. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you wait knowing that you're gonna have it, or is the answer in the air? Like you don't know if you're gonna be able to actually open your store?
So there's two different ways to do it. So we bought a cannabis license that existed already.
Yeah.
So like that one, we're just waiting for the federal government to transfer our license from one person's name to our name.
Okay.
That is like going to happen eventually. They can't get rid of that one. We bought it. We are attached to it. When you apply for a license, you're just waiting. So you apply and then they will get back to you and be like, this is incorrect, this is incorrect, this is incorrect. And then they'll go back to the federal government. It'll go back to the federal government and then they'll look and be like, are there too many stores in that area? Do the municipality, like the city and everything, are they okay with having that in that spot and everything? There's a lot of things a lot of people are looking at to make sure you get a license if you don't have one already.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can't actually, like, if they say, no, sorry, there's too many stores that sells cannabis in your area, you're not allowed to open. If they find it, so that...
You won't get a license and then you cannot open.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you apply for one, it's much more difficult to try to get one. That's why I looked for such a long time to find one that existed already and then just purchase it and move it over, which, like I said, took a long time, but like we got here, so it worked out.
I used to come to that dispensary that used to be here.
The Kootenai Cannabis Tree?
That's
what was right here, right before us.
I'm a stoner. I'm so bad with names. I don't really I have to remember
I'm horrible with names. I'm with you.
So yeah, like why do you actually, let's talk about that, like how many dispensaries there are here in Nelson? There are so many. So why did you guys choose to recreate one here in Nelson? Why didn't you go and open another one?
So Nelson municipality is set up with 4 zones. So there are 4 zones set up where they could put a cannabis store. Okay. They probably decided 5 years ago when legalization happened, they were like, well, we need to put in rules that like define how many we'll have, where they can be. So like currently they were allowed to have like 1 on Baker, 1 in Railtown, 1 here, and then the 4th zone, if someone decided to, would be over in Fairview. So on the other side. Yeah. Rosemont doesn't have one. So like Rosemont on the other side of the highway. Yeah. That doesn't have a zone. There's nothing over there. It's too residential over there for them to put another zone in over there. Okay. So yeah. The 2 that are on Baker are occupied in technically the Baker area and the Railtown area. As much as they're both on Baker, that's their zones just over there. And then this one's just here already. So like when the town decided they were allowed to have up to 4 stores and there was only 2 when we bought into this one, we were like, well, that's a pretty good, it seemed like a pretty good buy. Yeah. Right? Like there was space for it. Nelson is not getting any smaller. We all know that. Nelson is not getting smaller, probably ever again. Like it's not, it's just getting bigger. And they're putting in more housing, they're putting in more infrastructure, like all the time. Nelson is just doing a best job of like, Nelson trying to get bigger, smaller, rather than bigger. Obviously they jumped between like whatever year it was, 2 years, and then now we have what we have now, which is quite large for the size we have. Yeah, it feels like a big place in a very small place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really what it feels like. It
yeah.
feels like a small Vancouver when I moved here. I was like, it feels like Vancouver here, but there's not enough people to be Vancouver, but that's the vibe. Like the traffic, the how many people are actually like moving around. It's very, very high, which is great. So that would probably be the reason for that.
Oh yeah, perfect. And you guys have a lot of different products, accessories.
We have tons of stuff in here.
Yeah, like you can just see over here, the lights everywhere. Can you tell the people exactly what you guys sell over here? What's your catalog?
So our business plan is to sell a little bit of everything. Okay. So like when you walk into something, as an example, something like Walmart, they carry almost items for literally everything. So we try to carry a little bit of everything for all the types of cannabis people could like. Okay. So like, obviously we carry tons of pre-rolls, tons of bud, but we carry lots of like gel caps, topicals, oils, chocolates, cookies. We have some olive oil, like edible olive oil that has THC in it. Yeah, it's awesome. There's some cool stuff. What's another one? There's like nano shots that'll be stronger. There's vapes. There's... I think I named everything, actually. All the categories now. There's quite a few. Like...
Well, let's just say that if you guys are ever interested to look at the stuff, then there is here. You guys can actually go onto their website. What's you guys' website?
Yeah, so we're 419.WTF.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
Every time I see it, I'm like, what the fuck? WTF.
It's so great, I love it.
Awesome. So we're going to go towards the quiz, because I'm such a big stoner. I love having fun. I'm kind of a goofy person, and apparently Gregory is the same. So I decided to do the rest of the interview a little bit like a quiz, and then after that we do a little game where I need your recommendation about Nelson. Are you ready?
Yep, absolutely.
So let's start that one. What's your best edible?
Best edible?
Yeah.
It all depends on what you want, because like edibles nowadays have a huge skew from like up to down to strong to very mellow. Yeah. The legal limit of 10 milligrams per package for edibles is very low. But it is what we have for now. I think the best edible we have right now is going to be the kiwi melon live rosin strings. So they kind of look like live wire, you know, like the live wire gummies. They're long and they have the stuff inside of them. Yeah, so they look like a live wire. They have THC and CBG. Okay. So CBG is a cannabinoid that gives you lots of energy and focus. And people love them. We have a lot of people who come in and they're like, I'm going skiing, and you're like, that's the way to go. Like, it's just going to give you some energy, and then it's also breaking up into 4 pieces. So you can be like, I'm going to have a tiny bit now, a tiny bit later. Perfect. And like, so that's probably our number one currently.
It sounds delicious.
It is lovely, yeah. It's like a kiwi melon live wire.
You got me on the flavor. Kiwi melon, like, that sounds like the best time ever. Do you find that disappointing that we can only sell like this amount?
The 10 milligrams per package?
Are you someone that enjoy bigger doses?
So like, I'm quite a consumer. So like my tolerance is quite high. I would love edibles that are stronger. I understand why the government did it.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Let's go to another question.
We figured it out.
Maybe. We'll see in 5 minutes.
We're here.
We're trying. What project would you recommend to someone coming in the store looking to relieve their joint pain? Their joint pain.
Their joint pain. So like, if you want something specific that's gonna be like specific to your joints, I would suggest something that's like a topical. So it'll be like a cream that you apply to your joints. I would go with that just because you're sure whether it's helping or not.
Okay.
A lot of people for their pain, like joints specifically, they're like, what can I smoke? It's like, it might make you feel better. It might give you a buzz, which is good. A buzz is obviously gonna make you feel better. But like, it's really hard with CBD sometimes. You can smoke it, it can help, it can make you feel better, which I love, but it's not direct. So like sometimes you're like, is it helping or am I just high? Which isn't bad. Having a buzz is good. But like something like a topical will be direct. So you'll put it directly on your joints. It will be like, you can go with something quite strong if you have bad joint pain. That's what I would suggest. It's just like, it's going to be more direct and probably help more specifically.
That's usually what we use at home.
Yeah, like a topical will just help more.
Something natural like that, if you were given the opportunity to open up the first store in space, would you do it?
In space?
I was smoking a joint when I was making those questions.
I love it.
Yo.
We would need traffic. Yes. There aren't very many people in space, so like... If we get that many people into space, oh yeah, sign me up. That would be real fun. Why not? Ugh. We're gonna put like it'll be like, have you seen the movie Pluto Nash?
No, but it sounds like a stoner movie, isn't it?
He's a guy who goes to space, and there's like, the moon has a mall on it.
Oh, okay, wow.
It's just like a futuristic type thing, and it's like, oh yeah, and they have all sorts of things like convenience stores and all on the moon, and everyone goes to the moon as a convenience store.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's in Pluto Nash. So.
Tell me your favorite sativa and your favorite indica weed that you have available at your store right now.
Oh, my favorite sativa right now is definitely the Jack Herer Budskis. Oof. It is quite a sativa. It is definitely my favorite right now. It comes in a can and like looks like a can of pop, and it's okay. That's all good. Yeah, so it looks like a can of pop, and it's very good. Like that's probably the nicest sativa I've smoked in quite some time.
All right.
Yeah, and then indica. I don't smoke tons of indica because it makes me so tired, and I'm a very functional person. Like I end up working here almost 10, 12 hours a day, and if I smoke indica, I just won't make it. I just won't make it through the day. I'll be like, wow.
Fair.
Or like at the end of the day, I'll be like, okay, now I need to go home and have a life, and if I smoke indica, I won't. I'll just go to sleep. I'll be like, oh well.
Can't socialize with the wife.
Now we're going to tomorrow. Indica I love right now. I love the Zainbow. It's like the word rainbow, but with a Z at the beginning, Zainbow. Okay. And that's by Kootenai Cultivar. And it's actually not even out yet. I got a sample from the grower. We're good friends, Tyson, and yeah, it'll be coming out within the next week or so. And that is just, that might be some of the best weed I've ever smoked in the Kootenays.
Oh wow.
It is.
Let's keep an eye on this.
Way at the top.
Okay, I'll come back. If someone is thinking of starting their own cannabis store business, what would your advice be to them?
Research.
Research.
A lot of people think they're going to open up a cannabis store and they're just going to sell weed. And there's about 1 million steps along the way. People are like, yeah, it can't be that hard, right? It's like, well, it is going to be that hard. Like, so just do the research. Yeah. That would be what I would say. Do the research, know what you're getting into before you're there, and realizing this isn't as fun as I thought it would be. It's work all the time. And the amount of weed I physically sell right now is so low. Yeah. Because I have to do computer work and like curating all these new items. I end up looking at tons of websites for new items. I get lots of emails from reps that are like showing me new things, and like that's really important. So like I probably sell less weed now than I ever did. Oh, wow. Which is kind of interesting, like physically myself. It's also bud tenders and things like that. So like that's very interesting. Okay. Yeah.
What's your top 3 favorite products available at your store at the moment?
My top 3 things I love about my store right now. I love the colors. We have all the colors in here. Literally, it's just full of color. There's purples, oranges, greens, reds. Like, I love how colorful it is all the time. It's also changing all the time, which we love. Like when we get new items and such, there's always new things going on. Number 2, I think I love that I can order anything I could ever think about. So like, it's my first store I've owned by myself, and I curate the whole like menu. So nowadays I see something and I'm like, wow, we are definitely getting that because it's my decision versus it's never really been my decision beforehand, fully anyways. Like obviously people have been like, should we get this? And I'm like, look at it and be like, yeah, sure. But now it's my decision 100%. I love that. Freedom. I love that. The freedom of ordering whatever. On the other side, obviously, if I order something that doesn't sell, it's all on me. It's my problem anyways. So maybe I'll be smoking it. We'll find out I'll be smoking it. That's all right.
So sad.
And number 3, I think I just love Nelson. Nelson's a great feel. Like, everyone who comes in is super excited to get their weed. There's lots of people who want to try different things all the time. Where I was before in Smithers, we had a lot of regulars who would come in and buy the same thing every week, which is okay. If you like it, you get it. But we have a lot of people who will never buy the same thing twice. And I love customers like that who are willing to be like, show me something that's new now, because I don't want the same thing again. And it's like, that's awesome. I love
Taking some risk.
Oh, or like even just like you get to show people things that you're like, this is so good, even though they love this, but they should get this. Things like that. That's really awesome.
That's cool.
I love that. That's a very Nelson vibe.
And you can,
which I love.
Absolutely, like from what I'm seeing here, you have a lot to choose from, and you have a lot that you can try on.
We have over 400 different items.
420.
It might be over 500. I should count. Maybe it's 419 items. That would be great.
That'd be cool. Let us know if it is.
That's some good math.
All right, so we're already like at the end of it. It was pretty quick, right?
Yeah, like I had a great time.
And so I just need a couple of recommendations from you about Nelson, because the show is about promoting Nelson.
Nelson.
So I'm gonna ask you 3 things, and you just need to give me your recommendation.
I love it. Yep.
That's it. So tell me a great place to go eat for lunch in Nelson.
At the Main Street Diner.
Oh,
so
never tried.
Oh yeah, on Baker, the Main Street Diner is my favorite restaurant. I think for any meal. I don't think they do breakfast, but like that is probably one of my favorites. It's kind of like Greek mixed with a diner, and it is the best. I love that place.
I'm gonna go because I've been wanting to go for a long time.
It's so good. I love the Main Street Diner.
Never been.
We found it the first day we moved to Nelson, and we went for dinner, and I was like, this is really good. And then I've just gone back so many times now, and I've had almost everything on the menu.
Oh,
it's just every time I go, I'm like, okay, we're getting something different. Like
it's gonna be good no matter.
That would be my choice, yeah.
Awesome. Well, the diner, Main Street
Diner. Main Street Diner, yeah.
A local store we should all go check out if we come to Nelson, other than yours.
Something you should always check out.
Yeah.
If you are in Nelson, I think you should go to the North Shore Beach. So over on the North Shore, so you're across the bridge, there is a place called the North Shore Beach. And it is immaculate. It is so beautiful. Once you're out there and it's a nice day and it's sun, you'll be like, it looks like any amazing beach from like Bora Bora or something crazy like that. It's just beautiful. Awesome. I would suggest the North Shore Beach.
A lot of people recommend to go check out the beaches here in Nelson.
On North Shore,
there are so many. Yeah,
it's
across
so
the bridge.
Nice. There's tons. That's my favorite one so far.
Miles,
we go even when it's windy.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice. It's like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And last recommendation, an activity that you would go do in town in the winter time, other than snowboarding.
Other than snowboarding. Last night we went to Badass Bingo at the Mike Place's pub, and that was so much fun.
Yes.
I've only done bingo maybe once or twice ever in my life, and I will be going back every week now. The guys who ran it were hilarious. Like I laughed the whole time, and then it was just a good time. Lots of prizes, lots of good energy. It was good. That was a great time. I would definitely say that's a really fun time.
Right. So quickly, what's coming up next for your business in the 2025 year? Anything exciting?
We really want to have we because of when we opened in September, and we kind of just moved from September into Christmas time. It just hit very quickly. It was Halloween, then Christmas all of a sudden. We haven't had a grand opening yet.
Oh, are you doing a party?
We really want to have a grand opening at some point in time. We might call it a We Love Nelson time rather than an opening, because we've been open for almost, by the time we have it, it'll probably be 6 or 8 months we've been open. Yeah. So we'll probably do a We Love Nelson type of party. we've considered having like different like vendors in the hall. So like we have a little bit of a inside area where we can do things. So like lots of ideas, lots of things like that. Probably lots of stuff to give away.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do something fun.
Perfect. And are you guys on social media? We can check your stuff on your website.
Yep, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we have our own website, like I said before, 419.wtf. And you can link, we have a mobile app.
Okay.
So you can check out our mobile app on Apple or on Android. And it's just 419 Cannabis, and you can order from there as well, and
You guys do delivery too, don't you?
We do delivery as well.
Delivery.
Driver G is local to Nelson, and they do delivery, and we've just been delivering through Driver G.
Awesome. Well, for all your weed needs, come check out the dispensary, Cannabis Store 419 are we on Front Street here?
We're on Front Street,
We're on Front Street in Nelson. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week on W.C.A. in Nelson. Bye.